Hi, I'm Liz. I go by Stitch by Liz with an underscore over on Instagram, and welcome to Flosstube 93. Today is Thursday the 8th of January 2026. I almost said 2025. It's not. If you are new, welcome. We've had an influx of people from my WIP parade. Welcome. If you are returning, welcome back to the Hot Mess Express. That is me. If you are new, this is my little corner of YouTube where I talk about my cross stitch and whatever else I want to talk about. This little corner up here is where my husband, an unpaid editor, pops in to talk about whatever he wants to. This little corner down here is where the tiny dark one, the baby lady, pops in to comment whatever he wants to. He may make an appearance, he may not. I think he's sitting at the back door, hoping the birds are out at 6 a.m. They aren't. So, like most people at this time, they should be sleeping. I am not. So, I don't know why I look so pale today. Very odd. Anyway, as you can see by the title of this video, I'm gonna get into some controversy. Stuff's been happening over the last fortnight. So it's going to be interesting. I will jump into that in a second. I have notes in my Flosstube book. So I have a book that I have all of my Flosstube notes in. Super pretty. However, the stuff that I want to address is also typed up on a Word document on the monitor behind you, and it is extensive. Yeah, it's been a lot. Anyway, what's been happening over the past 2 weeks for me? What was the last video? My WIP parade. So Christmas happened. New Year happened. It was all good. Unfortunately, we're dealing with some family stuff. Ross's grandmother is not well at all. So we have been spending some time there over Christmas and New Year. And yeah, there's been a lot happening. There's been a lot happening. But you know, it is what it is. We can't really do much about it. It's just, yeah. Anyway, other than that, I went back to work on the 2nd of January. It was a choice. It's been rough. It's been so busy. I literally logged off yesterday with something like 147 emails to action. Yeah. It's insanely busy at the moment. As of filming, so it's like 6:04 a.m. I start work at 8:30. I'm working from home today and tomorrow, which is fine. That I work from home 3 days a week, and my work from home days are the days that I just smash things out because people don't bother me. The past couple of days I've been in the office. I've been dealing with reception as well, and it's been next level busy for some reason. So it's been a lot, but I've got to catch up. I've got to get things done before we go on holidays, because there's a lot of conferences that I've booked in for clients with barristers while I'm away that people are going to have to let them into, but I have to create all of the briefs before anyway, it's busy. I'm not going to get into it any further. It's fine. It is what it is. Okay. I had some shout outs. People shouted me out in their videos, which I always appreciate, so thank you so much. First up, it was Emma X Stitching. She mentioned me in one of her videos. I cannot now for the life of me remember what she mentioned, which is fine. I watched her video a while ago and took notes. So, you know, thank you so much, Emma. I appreciate it. And the other shout out I got was from Heather and Nikki over at the Got Whips podcast. Everyone I mentioned will be linked down below. And Nikki picked me for a project to stitch when she watches my videos. So there's like, I think it's called Flosstube Frenzy. I'd never heard of it before I watched their video. So essentially she signed a project to my videos. So when she watches my videos, I think she works on that project. I'm not 100% sure, but thank you so much. I'm so honored that you've added me to Flosstube Frenzy. That's so cool. So thank you so much for both of the shout outs. I really appreciate it. They were the only shout outs we got this week. I need to be better at keeping track of like who shouted me out. I'm just readjusting myself. Yeah, I need to get better at doing that. So I'm going to try, which is exciting. But we shall see if I can keep it up. Because sometimes by the time I look at it, it doesn't send me notifications of who mentions me, unfortunately. I've got to go into like my Stitch by Liz YouTube, and then I've got to go into like the notifications and then mentions. It's the whole thing. Anyway, I need to get better at shouting people out. Before I get into my stitching, I am going to deal with the controversy that has been happening regarding the SAL that shall not be mentioned. No, the Bella Filipina Blackwater Siren Stitch Along. I will have a timestamp down below if you want to skip this. However, if you want to get the opinion of someone who was participating in the Stitch Along, stick around because I have thoughts and they're not good. If you've been following me on Instagram, I have been making some stories about what has been happening, plus the feedback, plus everything else. So, you know, if you've missed that, this is the place because I'm going to address it all. So, if you haven't heard the drama surrounding the newest release from Bella Filipina, I will, from this, be calling them the designer because they don't deserve any promotion. If you haven't heard about the controversy that's been happening, the Blackwater Siren Stitch Along was a 2024 to 2025 stitch along, which we paid a premium for. So the chart was $45 US. The most recent release from the designer is essentially the version that we wanted. And it was created or updated based on the feedback that the Stitch Along participants provided, which is extremely disappointing when the designer says something completely different to the SAL participants. So, if you have watched my WIP parade and you have come from that video, or you are watching me following that video, you will have seen my work in progress or my WIP of the Blackwater Siren Stitch Along. Like I said, I paid $45 US for that chart, which converting it to Aussie could be anywhere from $65 to $70 depending on the conversion of the day. For the digital chart, I bought the floss and the beads, which, you know, was in total, including the chart, over 150 Aussie dollars to stitch. And I saved money on that because I dyed my own fabric. Had I purchased fabric, it would have been a lot more. So it's still a massive waste of money. So as someone that participated in the SAL, we essentially paid a premium for a shitty design. We were provided the silhouette, which didn't show any cutouts, didn't show any non-stitched areas, nothing like that. And essentially what we got was the Temu version of what the designer clearly wanted to release from the beginning. There's a lot of people that feel like we paid to test stitch a design. And I feel that way. I'm one of the people that feel that way. I feel like we paid a premium to test stitch a design and provide feedback. And that feedback was used to update the chart to release to the public, which is absolutely disgusting, because when we raised our concerns, we were told that the charts, that the design was how it was meant to look, and it was never intended to have any rock stitched in or anything extra. That's what it was meant to look like. When you have a gap between the sirens or a gap in the the seat at the bottom. Like, clearly there is an issue when it came to designing this chart. Like, maybe he just gave up and thought that it would be fine, but it's not fine. And I know there's a lot of people that would not have stitched it had it shown the massive empty spaces that the final stitch along design was. So I think it's even worse that a lot of people bought extra skeins because the floss list called for extra skeins to be used and we didn't even get through one. So it's just, I don't know, it's just left a really sour taste in my mouth when it comes to these designs. Now, when they released the design, it was originally posted on Facebook. Someone sent it to me because it was conveniently posted overnight my time. And boy, did I unleash in the comments. So I was literally responding to people. I called this happening months ago, which is extremely disappointing that someone can say, hey, this is exactly what's going to happen, because the designer has a reputation for doing this with their stitch-alongs, which is absolutely terrible. Now, I think the only reason they released a statement following this is because of the amount of uproar that was created and the amount of unhappy customers and the potential to lose a lot of sales following the uproar, that the Instagram comments were removed. Someone tagged me in a comment, responded to a comment that I left on the Instagram post. I couldn't even see it because they turned it off. The comments were turned off on the Facebook post. They posted a statement and had the comments turned off so no one could provide any response or any feedback. So obviously people have taken to Instagram and there have been posts in the Stitch Along group and people have made posts on YouTube regarding this issue. Crafty Gaming Jamie also made a video on this. Go watch it if you haven't. She also addresses the Hate AI issues. Now, when I read the statement that the designer released, it was the biggest, excuse my language, bullshit non-apology I have ever seen in my life. It came across as a don't bully me or don't criticize me, don't have any criticism of me, instead of taking accountability for what he did to his customers. Not cool. The biggest issue I have with the statement that he released, and I have it in quotes, is when he said, "This release was never intended to diminish or hurt those who participated in the original Stitch Along. It was created for those who patiently waited and were unable to join at the time." That to me is the biggest FU to the Stitch Along participants, and essentially that we're suckers for not waiting patiently for the full chart to be released. If we're paying a premium, the full chart should be provided to us. You don't get to then upgrade the chart based on our feedback, release it for $5 US less than what we paid for, and expect that everyone is going to be happy. No one is going to be happy with this decision. When the final part of the Stitch Along released, we were told there was going to be no rocks. There was going to be no extras added. So essentially what Bella Filipina is telling us is don't bother stitching one of their Stitch Alongs. It's, just wait for the chart to be released later down the line, because it's going to be a better version than what you're getting. And, if you want to do the Stitch Along, because you're not going to get the upgraded chart. Now, I do a lot of Stitch Alongs. If you've been here for a long time, I am the SAL queen. I do so many Stitch Alongs. I have never ever had a Stitch Along that has changed after the Stitch Along gets released. The Stitch Along is normally something that the designer creates for their followers, their fans oh my god, to participate in. And once that SAL finishes, once that Stitch Along finishes, that final design gets released. I have done Lola Crow, I have done the Witchy Stitcher, I have done Climbing Goat design, I have got multiple Stitch Alongs in this WIP update that I know are not going to change following the final release. You know, I don't think this designer should be creating stitch-alongs anymore. I think they should just stick to designing the charts and releasing the charts. I've gone off track from what I wanted to say, and it's making me so angry. Anyway, I'm going to get back on track. I have heard from a lot of people following the stories that I've put up on Instagram that they are as unhappy as I am. I have heard that some people have been blocked from the designer's Instagram for addressing their concerns and calling them out for turning off and deleting comments, which is absolutely atrocious behavior. And then in the statement, just going back, he says that an email was meant to be sent to the Stitch Along participants with a discount code. Nah, bro. The only reason you sent an email with a 60% discount code to the Stitch Along participants is because of the backlash that you copped. Don't try and frame it now that you were always going to do this and there was a communication issue. If there was a communication issue, you would have deleted that post straight away and you would have released a statement straight away rather than waiting a whole day. And it would have been an apology and taking accountability rather than, you guys got what you got, and this is for the people that waited patiently or couldn't participate at the time. After this backlash, after this uproar, the designer should have released this updated chart to the Stitch Along participants for free. We should not have to pay an extra $16 for a chart that we've already paid more for, and he should do it as a show of good faith. I don't know if it's greed that has taken over his ethics, but it has been absolutely terrible to witness and to be a part of. I am so furious. It has left a really sour taste in my mouth with regards to all of the designs. I, at one point, was unsure if I would ever stitch another design from this designer. My Blackwater Siren Stitch Along is a permanent UFO. It's taken everything in my powers not to set it on fire. But what I'm going to do is cut out the salvageable fabric and I'll use it for something else. Which is fine. When it comes to the other designs, I will be continuing my fairy tales series that they do. I'm going to continue that because I've already started it and they are lovely. When it comes to all of the other charts I already have in stash, who knows? Who knows if I will ever pull them out again, or I will ever work on them. But at the moment, I am done with this designer. Unfortunately, Mad Tea Party is a WIP. That's just going to be on hold for a hot minute. It is on my WIP go. I'll decide when that number is called, if I want to work on it or if I'm going to sub it out for a different project, until such time as I am not royally pissed off with what has happened. So that's what I have to say about that. I'm sorry I got ranty, but it needed to be addressed. As someone that did the Stitch Along, it's absolutely filthy behavior, and you get feedback from your customers. Take it on board. Don't turn it around and make it like we're the problem, because we're not the problem. Anyway, okay, I'm going to get into my WIPs because there's a lot post-WIP parade progress. So my WIP parade was filmed on the 24th of December. So I have had a bunch of progress because obviously I had time off up until the 2nd of January. So I have a finish, I have 2 new starts, and I have multiple WIPs. So I just really quickly also wanted to show my planner for 2026. It is a happy planner. It is a Disney one. What does it say? Happy times are ahead. It's super cute. I got the, it was undated, so I bought stickers from Etsy. It is the dashboard layout. All of these stickers are also from Etsy. And so far, I'm absolutely loving the dashboard layout, and I'm loving this planner. So I love it. So anyway, my finish. I finished my oldest, what was my oldest WIP, and that is Ross's favorite, what was Ross's favorite WIP of mine. He might need to change his now. And it is Siren of the Sea by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And this is what she looks like. Oh, so pretty. So this is stitched on an 18 count blue ocean floor. Hello, Veda. By Color Cascade. Buddy, can they see the finish? Thank you. So this is what she looks like behind the tiny one, who's not so tiny anymore. This is stitched 2 over 1 full cross with the called for DMC. The only substitution I made was in her hair and in her tail was the variegated, the DMC variations that Autumn Lane suggested for a certain color. I was going to do the tail that way, but once I started stitching it, it looks like it disappears into the water, like the fabric. And I sort of love the way it turned out. So that is my finish. It's not ironed. I need to get rid of that crease in the middle. But what was my oldest WIP is complete. I'm going to fold this the other way to see if I can get rid of that crease. Hi, buddy. Welcome. Yes. Oh, hi. Hi, buddy. Are you okay? You want to say hi? You want to say hi, Vedi? Oh, there's a nice scratch. Oh, my little floof. Are the birds not out for you? Hi. Okay. Apparently this is how close we're sitting today. Fun times. Okay, that was my finish. My new starts. I have to. How about, buddy? If I move this for you, you can sit there. No, okay, no. We need to sit inside Mummy's skin, apparently. Oh, nope. He's sitting on my notes, so we'll see how much of this I can remember when his body is not covering them. So I have two new starts. Sorry. The first one is a chart I started because we are traveling to Disneyland in 31 days as of filming, because I'm pretty sure it was 32 yesterday. I am so excited. I cannot wait. We get to see Kat from Kat Can Sew, and then Erica from Akio WIP messaged me. They're going to be there for a couple of days while we are as well, so we get to meet them in person, and I'm so excited. Anyway, I started Disneyland the retro Disneyland sign by Squid and the City. It is available on Etsy. I literally got 109 stitches into this just to get it started, and then I packed it into my Disney Snacks bag by Jasmine Custom Bags with all of the floss and my little tiny travel scissors and a needle book, so it's ready to go. But this is my tiny new start. So this is stitched on a 32 count Islands of Avalon by Color Cascade. I am stitching this 2 over 2 full cross with the called for DMC, and this is where I thought this fabric was absolutely perfect, giving me Anaheim sky vibes. But yeah, this is where it up. Like, the white gets sort of a little bit blown out, but you know, you can see it in person. The Lilo and Stitch fish needle minder is from Ginger Stitch AU. I love this. As soon as I saw this, I needed to purchase it. I love it. I love Lilo and Stitch. So that is my new start to take with me to Disney. Whoa, what is happening with the balance? So I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait. My next new start, which I blame I blame Mel Rouvray, who is a girl of pages and threads over on Instagram. I blame her for it because she sent me photos of this and I had no intentions to join another stitch along, but I saw the photos and I am low-key obsessed. So this is the 2026 stitch along from Fox and Rabbit Designs. It is based on a 17th century band sampler. I think it was from 1664. Anyway, this is currently where I'm up to. So this is stitched on a 40 count driftwood by Whoopsie Daisy Designs. I am stitching this 1/2 with 1/2 full cross with PR 153, I think, from Silks For You. I love this color, and Liz decided to fussy stitch this, and oh my gosh, I am a little bit obsessed. It's not perfect, like it's not completely balanced, but I love the way this is turning out. So I have 2 more of these motifs, like these X's, to put in here and here, and I need to finish the top border, and it's done. It's about 800-ish stitches, I think. This so far is 916 stitches, so we shall see. Needleminder is also from Ginger Stitch AU, but I absolutely love this. It's literally still in the Q-snap, but I started this at work on Tuesday, I think, and 40 count fluorescent lighting, Liz, was a choice, but I do love the way it's turning out. There is a little bit more that's meant to go on this side. It hasn't been released yet, so yeah, absolutely love it. That is my start for that stitch along. They are my new starts. Yay! I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 WIPs, which, holy cannoli, 9 WIPs in a fortnight is a lot. But you know, 2 of those are WIP Go, and I am done for January for WIP Go. And it's only the 8th of January. First thing I finished was the Peppermint Purple frame. I think the first release has just come out now. I actually need to log in and check so I can do the first fill if that is the case, but I finished the border. So this is on a 16 count white. I am stitching this with Silks For You in a myriad of colors. This is PR 070, which is black. The only change I made is, so these little interchanging thingies, they were also meant to go at the bottom, and 2026 was meant to go underneath, but I just put 2026 in the bottom, in the frame instead. So the first fill goes up here. I am going to probably do that today if it is out. We shall see. Needleminder is from Ginger Stitch AU, and these are the silks that I'm using. So they are all Silks For You silks, with the exception of a Be Stitch Me silk, because I don't have a Silks For You silk in a deep red, and I'm pretty sure this is poinsettia. Yeah, poinsettia. Everything else is a Silks For You silk. So I'm very excited to do the next fill. I'm hoping to be kept up with that one as well. The next thing that is on my list is This Is the Way. Oh, it's tangled with the villains. Is This Is the Way. It is the Mandalorian helmets chart, that WIP that I have. I know I took this with me on New Year's Eve because I also took one of my next WIPs that I'll be showing, which is a full, well, I took Spiderman with me, which is a full coverage, and then once my eyes started hurting, I switched to this. So this is where I'm up to. This is stitched on a 32 count that I hand-dyed myself. Stitch 2/1 full cross with the called for DMC. I don't know how many stitches this got, but I've been working on the third helmet in the top row. They don't really take that long to stitch up. I mean, there's a lot of color changes in there and a lot of, like, I don't think there's any blends. but the color gradient's so good. And then obviously I'm backstitching as I go, because backstitch at the end is not fun. So not much, and this guy will be finished, but you know, I'm glad he's on his way. Cat in a hat. I'm assuming it's a panda hat. Needle minder is from Ginger Stitch AU. Okay, next WIP is Spiderman. This is the other one that I took to New Year's with me, because I got on a full coverage kick, and this got decent progress. It also got an additional lot of park threads, which I apologize for, but you know, it is what it is. I park things, and you know, it makes my life easier. So Spiderman, this is where I'm up to. So this is stitched on a 25 count easy grid 2/110 stitch with the called for DMC, and this got decent progress. Like, I'm talking thousands of stitches, probably a couple of thousand, not too crazy, but like I filled in a lot of this building. All of this orange is new, and then obviously like I'm parking a multitude of threads. Needle is trying to escape from another project. So I've parked a multitude of threads while I'm at it. But this is where it's up to. I'm on the biggest full coverage kick at the moment, so all I want to work on, but I don't really have that many full coverage WIPs, so I need to sort of kick that kick, and work on them when they're spun up, or when I want, like, you know, when I get a chance to work on them a chunk. Cat in the Donut and Cat with the Yarn Ball needle minders are both from Ginger Stitch AU. Actually, I'm pretty sure all of my needle minders. Nope, I just looked at my next project. 2 are not from Ginger Stitch AU on that one. Okay, next up is my Villains BAP. I got on a roll with this. Like I said, I was having a full coverage kick. This got a lot of there's got a lot of work, and I have taken it out of the, I'm about to lose a needle, and I'm trying to fix that. I took it out of the 8x8 Q snap, and oh no, my screen's gonna go dark. I took it out of the 8x8 Q snap and put it into a is this a size 2 Nerge? I think it is. Yeah, number 2. Size 2 Nerge hoop instead. So this got a lot of work. This got thousands of stitches. So I started, okay, it's a monstrosity to try and think. So I worked all the way down to the bottom corner. This is the bottom corner. I filled in all of the 310, and so did I do any 939? Very little 939 in here, but I did all of the 310 for like the 4-ish pages, almost 4 pages. I think there's some missing down here. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back up and try and finish the Queen of Hearts, and then work down into Ursula. And I am loving this so much more in the Nerge. I need to get more of these size 2 Nerge hoops, because this is my only one, and this is going to stay on this and move around. So I stitched the original 151 Pokemon with a 6-inch hoop, and even though there was a lot of fabric, it made life so much easier. So I thought I would give this a shot with the villains, and oh my gosh, it's making life so much easier. It's going to be interesting when I get to like further into the chart like this way, because there's going to be a lot of fabric on this end, but you know, I think it's still going to be good. I have a multitude of parked threads above the Queen of Hearts and into Hades, but I am loving it. So I've been filling in the Queen of Hearts. There is a big chunk of white that is hidden behind this moth that I need to fill in, which is her, you know, her little cone, whatever the hell it's called. But I am loving this. Like, you can begin to see the outline of like Ursula and the tentacles. But I'm going to move these threads. This with the nerd hoop is what it looks like, which is going to be so exciting to show every time I work on it, because I'll be able to show the whole thing. I did talk about this in my in the Q&A that's coming out on the 8th of February. And, you know, if you look closer, you will be able to see the back of this, which please don't look because it's a mess. But, you know, I'm glad this is getting some progress because it is going to soon become my oldest WIP and I'm very concerned. So the Green Moth and the Vampire Kitty Needleminder are from Ginger Stitch AU. Mickey and Minnie are from Accoutrement Designs. And I put these on there because these magnets are like next level heavy and they held fabric in place for me while I was stitching. So that is my villains. The next thing I worked on was one of my WIP Go calls for January, and that is the Dark Mark by I Don't Know. It is available on my bobbin from what I understand, but this chart was gifted to me. I got 566 stitches on this, so decent progress, and more progress than it's had in a long while. So this is stitched on a 16 count Menacing Storm by Crafty Leanie, 2/1 full cross with called for DMC. This chart includes blends and back stitching. I haven't gotten into any back stitching as yet. I'm just trying to fill in from the top down so I can get that back stitching started, but it's going to be intense. This does have blends. Almost every second section is blends, but it does make it look amazing. Needleminder is from Ginger Stitch AU. Okay, next up is the Hubble Stitch Along by Climbing Goat Designs. This is a stitch along that has been finished a long while ago, but I made changes to it, so that's why it's taken me a while to get back into it. Now, I did finish the change that I had made because I had charted it and I finally bit the bullet and stitched it as part of WIP Go. This got a decent amount of progress though. So this is where my Hubble stitch along is at. This got 966 stitches and I completed the center block that I recharted, which I love. And then I have worked on filling in the final outside border. So I'm currently working down this side in hopes that they match up. And then all I need to do is finish 2.5 galaxies, nebulas, and they will be done. But this center block that I recharted, I love because it shows my fabric like it's a galaxy and it's amazing. This fabric is a 16 count Gothic by Picture This Plus. When I started working on this, discovered I am not a fan of Picture This Plus because it's just way too soft for me, but I love the depth of colors. And this is stitched with the called for DMC 2/2, 2/1 full cross. So I love it. This one is the one that got me hooked. This was provided in the original like sneak peek and I'm just like, yeah, I need this. So you know, it's close to a finish. Needleminder is from Ginger Stitch AU. Okay, next up is another stitch along that I am doing. It is the 2026 Steady Thread stitch along by the Steady Thread. I am doing the leaf and patterns version. There are 4 versions. It's like a choose your own adventure. But I have done I'm doing a 9x9. So I've done the border from the 9x9 and then 2 releases of the first block. The third isn't out yet. So this is where I'm up to. You can't really see it because the yellow is very bright, but it's like a patterned outline and then leaves. I can see it in person and that's all that matters. But I wish I had chosen a different yellow, just because it gets a little bit washed out on this fabric. This fabric is a 18 count 18 count something by Crafty Leanie. Hang on. Orb Weaver it's called, and I'm using a bunch of hand dyed from my stash. Majority of them are Forbidden Fibre Co, I think. So that is that. Bare Needle Minder is from Ginger Stitch AU. Okay, second last WIP. We are so close to the end. Second last WIP that I have worked on this fortnight is The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. This hasn't had too much, but I took this to work before I decided to start the Fox and Rabbit stitch along. So this is where it's up to. This got 482 stitches. This is stitched on an 18 count that I hand dyed myself. Stitched 2 over 1 full cross with the called for DMC. So I added in the 2 trees and the snowflakes, and then I worked in some of this orange, and now I've started to work in some 310. So, you know, not much, and this will be finished. Fox Needle Minder is from Ginger Stitch AU. All right, my final WIP is my current now oldest WIP, which will get the weekends. So if you are new, my oldest WIP gets the weekends, so Saturday and Sunday to work on, to try and smash out my oldest WIP. Now, my oldest WIP is from the 28th of May, 2022, and this is Rex by Owl's Head Design. This is where I'm up to. There's like 5,000 plus stitches that I need to finish this. So this is going to hang around for a hot minute. But this only got 346 stitches this weekend because the majority of the weekend was spent finishing Siren of the Sea. But this will get pulled out on Saturday and Sunday and hopefully get a bunch of work done because it is just block stitching. All of this up here is all done. It's just white on white. And there is more white on white to come. But I am working in on this blue down here. But this is where it's up to. So not many stitches on this, but it's in the Q-snap because it will get pulled out. Finished a WIP Needle Minder is from Ginger Stitch AU. I am rotating this to each of my oldest WIPs as they come up to get them finished. So those are my WIPs. I have a tiny bit of haul, a piece of Happy Mail, and then y'all can go and watch someone else if you wish. Do I want to do my stats? I'll do my stats after. So I got a lovely card in the post from Melissa, who was a giveaway winner last year, I think. Anyway, she sent me a lovely Christmas card with a needle minder that reminded her of the tiny dark one. And it is this super cute black cat from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. If you can't see, the tiny dark one has also stamped his approval on it. But I haven't put this on anything because I've been waiting to show everyone. So thank you so much, Melissa. I absolutely love this. It's so cute. I also got in my fabric of the month and silk of the month. I'll do my silk first. So, because I've had to hide this from Vader because I don't know what we were doing, but my November ones, he ran off with the whole packet the other day and I had to chase him through the house to get them from him. So these are the December 2025 silk of the month. This is my final silk of the month because I have dropped that because I have so much silk and not enough time or WIPs to use it. So these are the December 2025 silk of the month silks, and they are stunning. Absolutely love them. So they are my final silk of the month silks, which is bittersweet, but I have so much stash and I barely use them. So I need to get better about that. And then the final thing that I got was my December 2025 fabric of the month by Color Cascade. I get a 32 count 17 by 26 cut, and this is Gold Digger Old Map style, and it does look like an old map fabric. Like, it's so pretty. So that is my fabric of the month fabric. There are obviously like deeper patches of gold in there as well, which is amazing. So don't know what I will use this for, but it's going to sit in my stash because I really don't have a lot of neutrals. So we shall See what happens. Okay, my December stats and my 2026 stats. So my 2026 stats, I've only got 2 figures for you, but my December stats, I stitched 17,383 stitches. I worked on 14 WIPs and had 3 finishes. And then my overall 2025 stats, I had 22 finishes for 2025, which is amazing. I didn't even think I would hit that. And then the total amount of stitches I did in 2025 was 201,974. So, you know, I could finish my BAP if it's the only thing that I worked on, but it's not going to be the only thing that I work on. So, crazy number of stitches for the year, but I am very happy with the amount of work that I did. What emoji do I want you to leave for making it this far? Because this is a long one, given my rant at the start of this video. Leave me a red emoji down in the comments below. If you've made it this far, let me know what you're stitching on in the comments below. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I will answer them. We do have our Q&A coming up on the 8th of February that will be posted, so there won't be a Flosstube from me that day, simply because that is travel day. So we pre-recorded our Q&A, which Vader makes multiple appearances. So we filmed that, which is exciting. So that'll be up on the 8th of February. And then I will film another video after we're back. You've still got a video between now and then anyway, but you know. Also, Jen over at Wild Dragon Designs. Oh my god, this is so bad. Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole on YouTube is releasing her first stitch along this Friday. So tomorrow/Saturday for me. But it will be out by the time you are watching this. So go and give Jen a follow over on Instagram. It is a free year-long stitch along. I have seen the frame. It is amazing. And she has said that she will not be changing it once the design is finished. So, you know, you're in good hands there. Oh my god, my voice is going. Anyway, do all the YouTubey things, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!